Hey Scrapbookers, it's Katie Scott again, and this is part 2 of my how to use Picasa for scrapbooking. And so the question about Picasa came from this layout: how did I make this and what size was it? So this is a 8.5 by 11 piece of photo paper, and I made this whole collage in Picasa. And so in the previous video I showed you, I did a video showing you how to make this layout. And then I did a video showing you how to make the photo collage. And in that video, I made this photo collage. So today we're going to make a layout with this photo collage. So it's not exactly the same size, but it's pretty similar. And so I am going to show you a couple things. So first off, the video is going to be a little wonky when I move it. So I hope just bear with me a little bit. Okay, so this is my computer screen, and this is me on Picasa. So over at Picasa, I'm Katie Scott, and I have 288 boards. Crazy, yes. But I've had Picasa for a long time. I mean Pinterest for a long time, and I don't pin as much as I used to, but I will tell you my Pinterest boards are pretty awesome. I have the CHA. I started doing that in 2012, so I have like all the links to CHAs. I've got, this is a Christmas board, and I have like everything from Your December Story to December Daily to like crafts and scrapbooking and just like a million different ideas for Christmas. Let's just go back. You can go down that rabbit hole. I have colors like aqua and green celebrating Thanksgiving. I've got layout design like using a cluster, motifs like banners, photographs. In this display, my my boards are not in alphabetical order, but in certain, like on my iPhone, they are in alphabetical order. So I've labeled my Picasa or my Pinterest boards, like all the ones that have to do with home start with home, and then I have a colon, next house for the home, so that all of the home related things are in one place. All of the travel related things are under go. All of the like ideas for scrapbooking would be under subjects, this like the 80s, or inspiration. So I have different headers and then subcategories, and that helps me to keep everything organized, all of the 288 boards. So some other boards that, like some other headers for boards are celebrate, concepts, family, fun, productivity, shapes. Okay, so just trust me, it really is organized, but just not when I'm looking at it in this format. So I know where my board is for, so I have a board called Layout Design Large Photos. Oh, where did it go? Of course I can't find it, which is really weird because I was just in here and it was at the very bottom and now it's moved. So I don't understand that, but I do know that one of the last things I pinned. So if you can't find, if you're like me and you have like almost 300 boards and a bazillion pins, you can't find what you're looking for, you can go back to your pins, and I'm going to go to my board called Layout Design : so I have layout design as a subject on Pinterest, and then there's like all sorts of like layouts with circles, layouts with using a centered style, layouts with a horizontal style, layouts with a diagonal, and so there are all sorts of different layout styles or designs, and this one is called Large Photos, and that's the one we're going to be using today. So I pinned my original, this one, and I pinned my own stuff because I like to be able to see it all in one place. So I have a board called Productivity, My Own Layouts, and I try to pin everything that I do there, so I have a centralized place where I can look at all of my layouts and try to convince myself that I have a scrapbooking style. I don't think that I necessarily do. I think my layouts are quite diverse. But this is called Layout Design Large Photo, and they're by all different scrapbookers. And so you can see layouts with big photos here. And what we'll do is just try to choose one to kind of mimic for this. So I have a large photo that's in a square shape, so it's not going to be one like this where this is taking up basically most of the page. Here's one with a square. Let's go with that. So this is, I'm just going to click right on it. This is from the October Afternoon website, and I don't know who made the layout, but it looks like Wilna Furstenberg. It looks like she's got her watermark there. So this is a Wilna Furstenberg layout, and I'm just going to be basically taking this as inspiration for photo placement. So I want to show you so I'm going to move this screen again. So we know that this square is going to go top right, and then we're going to have a big embellishy thing here, and then like kind of a bordery thing over this way. Okay, so I'm going to move the video once again. Okay, let's just see how this. So I have my little cart here. These are the supplies that I've pulled. I've pulled some 6x6 sheets. I have my photo collage that I made in Picasa, and then I have, like, I always pull too much, but this is pretty. And then so I pulled a bunch of papers from the kit that I made with my, let me do it this way. I have a few videos for preparing a kit, your own kit for December Daily, or going to the store and buying your own kit and putting everything together. So these were some of the things that I had. And I bought most of my supplies from Whimsidoodle, which is my local scrapbooking store, and a lot of it was on sale. So some of it was not. This was We Are Memory Keepers. This is Echo Park. I'm kind of in love with Echo Park. This is Teresa Collins, and I wanted to, I complained earlier to say I wasn't sure that my circle punch was going to cut these without going over, and it looks like it's going to be perfect. So this is my circle punch. It's just like your basic circle punch, and I don't think it's going to go over, and I think I'm going to be able to cut those out perfectly. So I'm not going to do that today, but yay. I'm happy to have that issue resolved. Let me just put that to the side. This is Allison Craft for Webster's Pages, and I really love the stars. And so I bought a lot of the Project Life type papers because they're just like, especially this one, like, woohoo, Simple Stories, go Simple Stories, because they did it on both sides. That's just awesome. Like, yay. And then I bought some, this is also Echo Park, a sticker sheet. And then, I had a couple ideas. So one of the things I could do is just use all new papers to use as my background paper. But really, like, most of these papers are, cut aparts. So I don't necessarily want to use those as my background paper. So I pulled this, it's a Amy Tangerine by American Crafts piece of paper as a potential before, and I think this will work with the sketch by Wilna Furstenberg, or her layout, if we kind of use her layout as a sketch, because she's got a lot going on down in the corner here, and then the photo goes in the top right, and I think that's going to make for really easy, like, that will go together so fast. The other thing that I do is I have a bunch of papers like this, which I'm not sure if this was a Chamel starting point. This is more like a starting point page where you have the background paper and some other pattern papers on top. But let me just show you, I do this other thing called a half-baked page. And a half-baked page is where I also add the photos. I think I have some of them in this little Okay, so the thing about my videos is I don't prepare. I just turn it on and start talking. So here's another kind of starting point type page. And so I don't have any photos there yet, but I think my idea was I'd put pictures of my son and our dog. That's another like starting point type page. Here's another one. And sometimes I do it on both sides. Sometimes I make these pages just when I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'll just start one. I try not to do too many of them, but they're really just, they make for an easy way to start your page. I cannot seem to find a half-baked. All of those I would consider to be like starting points. Okay, I found one. Here's my little folder of half-baked pages. So these are pages where I've put not only the background, but I've also put photos. So all I need to do to that is add the title and embellishment. Same deal with that. And I have a bunch of those as well. Or like this one, I did put the title, but there's no journaling, there's no embellishments, so this isn't really done. Even when I'm sparse on the embellishments, a page like this, it's not done. There's no story there yet. And it's not even just a pretty page. It needs more. And that one looks like it's probably done, but I wasn't in love with it. So anyways, I just wanted to show you some of those. I think that I'm going to stick with my two initial thoughts, though. Is one or the other. So let us see. Out of the way. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is decide how I'm going to crop this layout or this photo collage. So do I just want to keep these borders? If these are like if I wanted to crop, I would just keep those borders, or another thing that I could do instead of cropping it is I could decide to like, oh, maybe I do like this, and just not even mess with it. I sort of like that. I sort of like this as a large Polaroid, and so just trim it at the top and leave the bottom, and I could put my title there. And so I'm already sort of deviating from the inspiration piece that I chose, but I like having an inspiration piece just to as a place where I can start to make decisions. So I'm just going to grab my trimmer here, and I'm going to trim the top of that off so it looks kind of like a Polaroid. Okay. So if we just look at this way, like the page is like, so much of the page is the photo that it's practically done, right? Seriously, when you work with big photos, the major bonus is you don't have to do very much. Okay, so one issue here is that I have this little bit that I would like to show. And so I could either cut this off and just have the square, which I might do, or I can cut around this and then have it like overlap over, which I'm going to try. So the way that I do that is I have this little Fiskars thing. See if I can find it. If I can't find it, then that's an easy decision too. We're not doing that. Okay, so I found it. So I got this at the antique store. I just love it. It's just like a little metal bucket, and I keep all of my just a hodgepodge of adhesives and stuff like that. I also hide scissors in there because everybody in my family comes into my scrapbooking room, and they steal my scissors. So I am going to want to cut around like this. So this is little Fiskars cutter thing, and it's really cool. Let's hope I don't cut myself. I don't think I haven't yet. Not have today be the first day for that. So you can really, like a more patient person that cuts, fussy cuts is what they call this in scrapbooking, could probably do a better job than me. But I'm not all that concerned about being super precise. I'm just more concerned about keeping my fingers out of the way. Okay, I think I got that all cut out. Let's see. I might just want to pop that up just a little bit more. Yes. Ta-da. And so now what I can do is put this little deal into place. I'm not sure I love the arrow pointing at her skirt. It seems like just a little weird to me. I'm not going to use this. I don't think that, I don't love it. I will use that on a different page though, so I'm not worried about having wasted the time. I don't think the colors necessarily work for this. They work a bit better here, but with the red in the background, we're really focusing on these like, whoo, very, very bright costumes, so I don't think I want to use that either. I did like the way the craft kind of toned that down a bit, but I don't think I want to use either of those papers, so darn. And I don't think I want to use the cut-aparts that I've already selected, so now I'm kind of thinking like maybe just a gray piece of paper. So I don't always, like, usually I'll like pick it and stick it, but sometimes I will go back and kind of change my mind a bit. Here's one that these shapes kind of remind me of a camera. They seem kind of heavy though. The opposite side of that works a little better, but still feels kind of dark and gloomy, which goes with the pictures, kind of. Let's go with it. And now I'm just wondering, should I leave this as a Polaroid or should I trim it? And I'm kind of feeling like I'd like to probably stick with the sketch a little bit more, so I'm going to trim it. Because the sketch, or it's not a sketch, it's October Afternoon, it's a layout. Maybe, a lot of times they have sketches though. Like if you look on the scrapbooking manufacturers' blogs, a lot of times they'll provide sketches. And I used to love a site called Sketchy Thursdays, but they're alas no longer. And I haven't found a new sketch site that I'm really excited about. So, okay, so here we go with this. I'm kind of feeling like it's dark and heavy and I want to add another piece of something to that. I'm just looking at my, just have a little stash close by of paper. I'm never too far from a hoard of paper. Hold on just a second. I've got some of this. I don't know. This one, maybe. Maybe that's an easier. See, this is where I'm thinking, oh, I'm taking too long. Like, seriously, this is taking too long. And I need to just make some decisions. So I think what I maybe would like to do is trim this down and border it with the darker. Like, ta-da. Something like that. I don't know. I don't really like that either. Okay, but this is the thing. You just have to keep on trucking, people. Yeah, I don't like that. It could work like this. I kind of like that a little better. And I'm okay, so I'm officially impatient with myself now. I'm just going to grab my paper cutter and go to town. Like, let's... You know what I could do? Ugh. Go back to this. Let me just try one more time. Yes? No? I don't know. Let's just do it. I don't know. Maybe we'll border... I think let's just do this and stop. So sometimes your initial thought is your best one. They tell you that when you do exams. And it's like your first impulse is usually the right one. Let's just see if any of this. Oh, it's a new ringtone. Sorry about that. I've got like, ugh, that doesn't work. Okay. I'm just going to go with the sketch. So now I'm just going to start adhering things because I've already spent like way too much time going, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? It's, you know what? It's what, unless you really love all that decision making, it's what adds a lot of time to your scrapbooking. And if you can eliminate some of that and just keep on going, then you're going to like your layouts just as well. Or maybe you won't, but that's okay too. It's like not every single thing has to be the most awesomest layout that you've ever made. I know awesomest is not a word. But you really, like, it doesn't all... sometimes this photo paper, I feel like, just needs a little extra stick. So I'm just adding some glue there. And now I'm going to lay that down. And I have left enough. So this isn't perfectly... I don't know about the margins, but I'm just going to... Ta-da! It's down. It's not moving. So the next thing I want to do is kind of see where she, what Wilna did is made she had like the big thing here, and then she had like a border, like a banner. That's what I'm trying to say. Bannery thing going on there. So I could use like a border sticker here. I don't think I really like the... I feel like it shouldn't be rounded. It should be maybe pointier because the star is pointier. So I'm just going to lay that sticker back down on the sticker sheet. And I can get it back down and it's just fine. Okay, then I have a sticker that says Santa Claus is coming to town. That seems like a good idea. The reds really clash. It's okay. Be good, Santa Claus is coming to town. I'm going to turn this right around just so I can... So in the sketch, she doesn't have anything at all above. I think I want something though, and I think it's maybe going to be my title. So I need to think about what is my title going to be, and it could be Santa is coming to town. And I like the way this paper looks with this paper. Let's do that. I'm just cutting this out, and I haven't measured, so it might not work. And It's okay. Sometimes I'm a little conflicted as to whether I should cut these things up or not. So maybe cut, because if you cut it up and then you don't use it, then you've wrecked it. I guess. Santa Claus is coming to town. Okay. It's not all that awesome. And now I really wish that I didn't stick all that down, because I'd like to move the whole thing down a little bit. So this is a drawback of the way that I scrapbook. If it comes up, great. If it doesn't, then it's meant to be. So I got it to get up a little bit so I can move it. I know there's some people that use like the fancy magnets and all sorts of things, and I can see where that's a benefit, but I really just think if you start sticking stuff down, like, you're going to figure out how to make it work. And that's really, I took an improvisational comedy class, which didn't make me any funnier. Just ask my family, because they don't think I'm funny. But I do, but they don't. But one of the things in improv is you have to accept every single thing that anyone else says, and then the theory is just, say yes to it and then just keep going. So this is that same theory applied to scrapbooking. So I'm going to do this, and it's okay that some of that Santa Claus is covered up. I think that actually makes it more visually interesting. So here we go, sticking it down again. Pick it and stick it. And I don't always follow my own rule on that. I'm going to make this one go, there's like this little line here. This is going to go over. This doesn't quite go over. The one thing I do want to do, though, is make sure that, that this and this are lining up. So I'm going to stick that under, and then I'm going to measure, and then I'll have a little wiggle room. So I just want to make sure those are, no, they're not. A little bit in. And so you're not going to be able to read "Is Coming to Town," but you know what? We all know that song. We don't need to read the whole thing. And that makes it kind of interesting too, if that's if you can't read the whole thing. So because I did that on the top, like, my letters of Santa Claus are kind of underneath, I'm going to try to do that here. So you can still read "Is Coming to Town," but you can't, like, like, some of it is covered up a little bit. And that just needs to come over a tiny bit more. Okay, so there we go, "Is Coming to Town." And so that's going to be kind of my title. What I don't like on the back is that I got some of the adhesive here. So sometimes I will just take a piece of paper, and like a scrap piece of paper, and just cover that right up. Okay. So I'm just going to put that on the back. It's either going to stick or it's not. If it's not, if that falls off later, then some of that adhesive stickiness, has probably fallen off too. Okay, so now is the time that we do a little embellishing. So there's the basic page. It shouldn't have taken as long as I took, but it's okay. We're still doing okay for time. I talked a lot in the beginning. So now, just gonna look and see if I want to add any more paper elements, and I'm really looking for something like "Don't Be So Pouty." And I'm not seeing anything. I do like this idea of the stripes. This is an interesting piece of paper because it's 6 by 6 on one side with the cut aparts as part of one of them, and then the stripes on the other side. That's clever. That's seriously clever. I kind of like the idea of having this kind of stripe going down underneath this. So let me just cut right here. Okay, that's too much, right? But maybe if we just cut that in half. So we just need a little bit. And so now my layout feels like it doesn't really look much like the inspiration piece, and that's totally fine. See if I can just scooch that underneath just a little bit. I feel like I can. So I've got like this line. I want to bring that line all the way down, but it doesn't have to be this. It can be something else. I think that might be better. I have this 6 by 6 sheet, and it kind of looks like flashes going off. So let's see if that works at the bottom. I think this is Cosmo Cricket. I think that will work. So I'm going to adhere those down before I change my mind. So once you get the initial thought of, I think that works, go for it. Don't keep thinking about it. And now I feel like I've gotten most of the paper down onto the page, and now I want to start thinking about what else do I need to finish this page. One of the things is journaling, and one of the things might be a little more embellishing. Depending on your style, it's and you hear Glitter Girl say that in her videos all the time, like depending on your style, and really depending on your style. I think so many of us watch all the videos and look at a lot of videos on the sites that sell scrapbooking supplies that we kind of go hog wild on all of the embellishing, where you really don't need to. Like, I could just do some journaling here and say, that's done. And I might. But I might not. Okay, so I'm done probably with all the paper that I've pulled. So I pulled way more paper than I'm using. But I did have some sticker sheets over here, so let's just grab those. The other thing that I've been doing and loving lately is to put title or writing or stickers like right over the photos. So I'm thinking about if I could do that, like especially right along here or here. I think that this would be a great place to write, like, better not pout, or stop pouting, or something like that. I also have these little, what do you call them, banners. So if I wanted to go with what Wilma had done in that layout for October afternoon, I could do that here. Let's just see. I think that could work. I think it might even look cute if I put some twine down there. We'll see. So, in the interest of trying to do more embellishing, it's like a challenge I've given to myself. Let's just see if that helps. I don't know if that really makes any difference at all. I almost feel like it doesn't. Like, these little doohickeys would be better served on a different layout. So I'm going to say no, not doing that. But can stickers go on this layout? I don't know. If I were going to do like a triangle of embellishments, here's an embellishment, maybe here should be an embellishment, and then here, so that like if all of the triangles were condensed, we'd have it on her eyes. So I've got this one that's like a hand with an ornament. And I don't know where I'd put that. So that's going back on the sticker sheet. But I did like the fact that it was like, this one's kind of cute. I did like that it tied in with the darkness of this. And so I kind of like the idea. And I have to be careful because when I stick it down on, I like the color. I think the colors work. I like that now I'm a little focused on her. I'm going to line this up exactly with the corner of the photo. So it goes like that. Ta-da! But when I print at home, I find that when I stick things on top of the photos printed at home, they stick. Like, they're never coming up. So you really have to pick it and stick it. Now, I really want to have one more element up here that goes along with that color scheme, but I'm not really, maybe this Be Good, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but I've already put Santa Claus is Coming to Town, so I don't think that one is my choice. Ugh. I would really like to pick one from this because I know that the colors would work, but I don't really see anything there that I think will work, so I'm going to have to figure something else out. And all of my Christmas type embellishments I brought upstairs. So so I need to go a little bit, I'm not going to go upstairs, but I need to go a little bit back to my paper and say, is there anything that's going to work to bring that visual triangle together from what I have? So no, oh, there goes the little thing that I was saving. Sometimes it's not good to save. Oh, it's all the way on the floor. Get it later. Okay, so now my video is at 37 minutes, and now I'm super annoyed that I haven't finished this. There's this here that says notes, which if I'm going to do the journaling here, it might make sense over here, but I'm not really sure that's where I want to put it. There's Hello Santa, You've Been Naughty and Nice, which works color-wise, but I think she would not appreciate that. I don't know. I might just put the journaling up here and have that be my black element. Like let's try that. So I journal right onto the page, and so I'm just going to test out my pen a little bit first to make sure that that's going to work. I don't have any idea of what I'm writing. I just start writing. And that's also my kind of like scrapbook improv concept, is just go. Just like figure out what the next decision is and then go from there. Dear Allison. You like taking Christmas photos so long as it is on your terms, and I can't remember why, but you were not happy. On this particular Christmas photo shoot, and that was on the dock, I believe after some serious negotiating with me, you changed your outfit and posed in front of the tree, plus smiled big because it was on your terms. And the other thing I kind of want to say, like, to heck with whether Santa's coming or not, because that's, you know, that's how this girl is, you know, she's got her own terms. So I'm just going to highlight her name a little bit. So sometimes I'll go over some of the words that I want to stand out. Dear Allison, so I'm highlighting your terms. And negotiating. Check with when Santa is coming of Mom. Okay, and then I want to write here on your terms, so, or little negotiator. So I just want to get a little bit, maybe the green would be a good choice. Since I'm running short on time and I don't have like a whole horde of letter stickers around here, I may not find the perfect thing. Oh, I kind of like this.